What is going on, everybody? So today it's kind of a lazy day, but getting a lot of stuff accomplished. We've been keeping really busy here. We've been doing a lot of yard work. We were burning maple syrup outdoors last week, I think it was. It was last week. But now there's a burn, like a fire ban. You're not allowed to burn anything outdoors because in my area it's volunteer firefighters that show up. So they, in all the northern parts, apparently there's a fire ban. So we are cooking the maple syrup inside, but we're also doing a lot. Man, I look really pale. I just noticed it's must be the lighting, but we've been doing a lot of other things and just letting the sap kind of burn inside and dwindle down as the day goes on. We have been trying to do a lot of yard cleanup. Today all I'm doing is going to be transplanting the tomatoes that I started. They've all come up and they've all started to get what is called their true leaves. I'll show you what that is in a minute. So it's time to transplant them into their own pots before their roots become entangled. Anyways, let's just go in the greenhouse.
Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and Papa.
So I always use, when I transplant my tomatoes into their own little home, I always collect the soil and save it because if I don't want to mix it back in with my big container of soil that I have, even though there's still lots of nutrients in it, because if there's any seeds that is left over in the soil, they will go into another container and potentially sprout. So I will boil this some water and put it in with this soil here, and I'll show you why. I didn't boil some of my soil or some of my water for my soil, and I'm pretty sure the store I got it at, it was from last year's soil. So I'll show you what happened with some things that I planted. Thankfully I can identify what they are compared to what's growing. I don't know what they are, sorry. I don't know what they are, but I can identify what is the true plant that I wanted to plant. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Okay, so very carefully, I've already squeezed the sides, but I'm gonna just gently squeeze the sides until the block of soil comes loose. And can you see all the roots? That is what you want to see. You want to see all the roots. But you don't want to get them entangled with each other. So from here, I just gently, and you might lose some, that's why I always plant a little extra. You may not want as many, but you've also determined what plant might have gone a little leggy, which means it's not getting enough sunlight. You might also see what plants are stronger by doing this, by having them all side by side. And it's usually a really quick process, and I just set them down outside the soil. The roots don't want to see a lot of light, so I always keep a little bit of soil on them because the roots don't want to see light. And I have a lot of plants here. But see, like this one, let's see if I can zoom in. This one here compared to this one, if I had to determine which one I was keeping, it would obviously be this one. So, but if I look at these two, they're about the same size, but one already has a little bit deeper of a root system. So you start to get to know your plants. You start to get to, I'm still not fully there, but I'm learning. Like, look at these two. This one went a little bit leggy, meaning it didn't get enough sunlight for some reason. See that? I still grow them all because some of the times, for the most part, there might be some that I'm just like, no. Like, I am not gonna grow this. I just won't. There's no point. I gotta be careful here. Look at that root system. That's awesome. Oh, here's that little block. Break it up. You don't want to pull if you can help it. So, well, you can pull. Sorry, wrong words. You can pull, but you want to pull very gently. You don't want to force nothing apart. See, these two are kind of together, so I'm just gonna let it naturally. There we go. And these are homestead tomatoes, so they're a good meaty tomato. That one's something else that I'm gonna leave. Perfect. So I'm not decided about these ones. We'll see. They're very small. I probably won't plant them, but you never know. Can you see all those little baby hairs on the tomato? These can all be roots. So tomatoes like to be planted deep, and they can all be roots. So I'm gonna dig down as deep as I can go. I'm also going to give this a little bit of water right where the plant's gonna go. Tomatoes love water, but they love it at their roots. There. Down as deep as you can go. Now I know that the root has a little bit of water. And there you go. You got your first little baby tomato. So on top of having to do all those tomatoes, all of these plants have to go into soil this week. And then the week after, all of these plants got to go in. So I still have lots and lots of gardening to do. And hopefully, this is what I have for supplies. Hopefully, we'll get through. And just a little bit of an update. Here's that first tray of tomatoes. I was going to show you. I don't know if I spoke about it already. So these are the first leaves right here. See how they look different compared to that leaf there? These are what first pops up so that the plant gets the nutrients from the sun. And then these are what are called true leaves. So these are the actual tomato plant leaves. So as you can see, these guys don't have their true leaves yet. They're all, this is marigold, so it is a different plant, but they're all just starting to sprout. Same with these. These are peppers, and none of them have their true leaves yet. So these are what's getting the plant what it needs from the sun right now. And as the plant gets bigger, here's the tomatoes, you can see it starts to get, let's see if I can zoom in there. It starts to get, there it is, the true leaves, which are right here and right here. So we got, these are all my peppers. So I'm praying and hoping, you guys can start praying for me, my paprika peppers come up. My cayenne peppers, I think all of them actually, yes, all of them have started to come up. This one is being shy, but it's coming up. And then my Jimmy and Nardello, which I was so excited about these ones, so very grateful they came up. These ones aren't coming up, and neither are the paprikas. So, but I do have my banana peppers, which I grow them every year. They are coming up. And then this here, so everything I planted on April 1st, joke's on me, right? But everything I planted on April 1st has this growing. This is not the plant that I want to grow, but I didn't boil water, and I didn't, because normally when I moisten my soil when I first buy it, I boil water and I guess kill anything that's not good. And this is not what I'm supposed to, it's not supposed to be growing. You can see, let me just see here. Oh, here. So this is what the plant that's supposed to be growing looks like. And this, let's see if I can get one with its ball at the end. Look. It looks almost like a grass, but that's the seed. So I don't know where that came from, but it also did it to this pot, which I, again, planted on April 1st. So it also did it to all of these pots, but I've brought them back. And this is what I planted my hibiscus in. So here's to hoping that they still come up. So, but everything's looking pretty good. If I only get one more hibiscus this year, I hope, I don't know how to get seeds from it, but I will look into it. This is awesome if you want to make your own teas. It's the edible hibiscus, and it makes everything like beet red. It is beautiful. I absolutely love it. I think it's called Roselle Red. Yes, Roselle Red. And I started it in the paper towel on March 30th, and I planted them on April 1st. But even still, see? See, all this stuff is growing in it. I don't know what it is, but if you guys know what they are, I think it's like a grass or something, but if you know what they are, let me know. I am starting to sweat in here, so I'm going to open up the door. And in the meantime, I don't want the plants to get too hot, but in the meantime, let's go and check to see what Mike's doing. That's how I keep my greenhouse door open. You do what you can with what you got. See? I posted on my Instagram, for those that follow me over there, that this chicken that's near Mike right now will follow us if we're out. And the rest, they'll just be kind of doing their own thing. They're out looking for bugs and fresh greens. They'll choose bugs over greens any day. But see, that one is Quinn. She's waiting for us to dig something up and give her something.
Already fed her a couple crawlers.
Did ya?
Sure did.
Is that why she's hanging out with you?
Yeah, probably. I cleaned out that area.
Oh, wow. So this was all raspberry cane. This is where the new garden's going. Let's see, I'll stand up a little bit higher.
I want this cleared so I can make a path. So I'm going to knock this down so it's all level.
You might have to be a little bit louder. Brody!
So I'm clearing this out so I can make a path. So that when I get the four-wheeler, I can just roll right down here with a trailer and haul wood out or whatever I need to.
Yep.
Because I've got down trees back in here that I've cut down. Saplings really no more than a couple inches thick.
Yeah.
But that's the idea. It's just takes a lot of time. You ain't got the big machines.
That's it. Well, I was saying to Mike too, the whole area of our garden from last year was about the size of our backyard. So it seems like every season or every spring, we're gonna add more yard. So we're gonna leave the tarp down where the garden was last year just because, like, look at all the cane left, even in behind you there, right? Yeah. So
I mean, looking at this like this, it's almost overwhelming, so.
Oh, yes. But when you look at what has been done, this was all cane, that was all cane, almost up to the house at some points. The chicken coop, the whole area was cane. I think I have footage, I'll link it right here. So I think, I'm not 100%, but I think I've also got pinned down where I want to put our chickens, but we have to clear it out first, which is right here. In here somewhere. We are gonna have to make like a Fort Knox kind of chicken coop because there are predators, and apparently there's quite a bit of them out here, but they will be close to the house, and we're going to give them the best home that we know how to give them. But we have to hand pull all these stalks that Mike and I have been pulling and have cleared out over here. But they go back like forever. So let's see. Like all these, and that's not including what's down and what was meant to be the orchard. But overall, like, it looks overwhelming, but then you stop looking at it as a whole, and I think you look at it like just in a small scale.
You know what? Whenever I get to a point like that where it's overwhelming, I just put my head down, start working on one little area, and just start working.
Yeah.
Start going. Put some music on. Don't even think about the big picture right now. Just keep going.
Yep.
And I mean, it works. It's taken a lot of time, but
we can't go out anyways. So that is going to be it for today. I'm going to be doing some more planting tomorrow. I have started getting back into my own groove of things, so I kind of combined who I used to be with who I am now, and I'm back to making a ton of lists. I gave myself an office area in the upstairs of our log cabin, and I'm feeling really productive. So I always knew it, but I guess I kind of just forgot about it. I'm much better with lists and making sure that I stay on task every day, because my mind tends to wander, or it can, which it's good, but if I want to be productive, then I need to write myself a list. So unless I have more time at the end of the day, then I'll come back out and get ahead of the game and plant some more stuff. But I still have another video to make. Mike and I are going to attempt to make some maple fudge. Well, it's not maple fudge, it's like the maple candy, but it's not a hard candy. It's like a really soft candy. I always pick it up when we go back to Michigan. I always pick this candy up at the border. So I'm going to attempt to make that tonight with him. I am not going to look at any videos. I am only going to look at the instructions and see how we do. So that video will be coming out on Friday. And I got to clean out a hall closet. And I have to do something else according to my list, and I can't remember. So I should go back inside and check out my list. But that's enough for the greenhouse today. Mike has been working outside pretty much all day. We've taken a couple breaks. But he's been clearing where the garden is going to go and the surrounding area. He wants to make some paths. So, I mean, that wasn't even included in my list. Oops. That wasn't even included in my list, so he's making things ahead of the game for me, which is awesome. Here he is. Hey, babe.
Hey.
I'm done in the greenhouse unless I have more time at the end of the day. So I'm going to go inside. Oh, wow. I didn't even notice there was a huge stump there.
It's right here.
And there's that stump. You got some chainsaw happy going on?
I did.
You did?
Now I've got a nice clear path right down through here.
Look at how much of this is mainly raspberry cane with some branches and wood. Like, I remember when we walked to the garden from the house. Excuse the mess, it'll be cleaned up soon. But this was all right here, was all canes, and there was rocks, and there was logs, and there was like a bunch of debris, just little stuff. And
the only reason there was a path here, you remember? They had all the pallets down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way we could walk out here because everything was overgrown.
That's right. They had pallets going from like up here all the way down. But everything else was all that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys are all staying safe. And as always,